Hey crew, it's Pitt, and I'm back with something. It's a thank you for the most part, because thank you, this has been crazy. I've got over 3,000 views on the video, the tempo video, and so I've gotten a few questions. I want to address them. We're going to be out front. Like, if y'all got questions, y'all hit me up with them. I am very transparent about a lot of stuff. If you don't know me, like, my history is on the internet. I have talked about me. The video, Just the Tip, will give you a brief rundown of who I am as a person. The questions mainly break into certain things, right? The first one is, what is the game? That is an absolutely valid question. We are definitely going to dive into that. Is the game political? Again, a good question. We're going to dive into that. What will the 10K do really? We're going to really dive into that. 10 pool, really? We're going to get into that. And then the end goal, what this is all going towards, because there is a goal for this, right? This is a step in a plan. So let's start at the top. What is the game? To do that, we have to talk about why the game, right? I am building the game that I want to build, or that I want to play, rather. This game is not on the market. There is nothing out there that I can go and play this and be satisfied with what I want. It is a first person or a real-time strategy game like XCOM, but it's a party building game like XCOM in a way, but it is fantasy based. There are several spins put on it that really widen the scope of it, because Unreal allows you to do that. Let's go ahead and I'm going to take y'all through some of the assets that I've been building, right? All of this stuff, like, I'm not trying to put out a AAA game. I understand my own limitations. I don't think that I'm going to have the #1 best-selling game as an indie developer first time out of the box, but this game is getting built. This game will work the way that I want it to, and it will be the game that I want to play. I want to play a game that's challenging. I haven't played a game that was challenging since Vanilla WoW, and that's real, and even that was kind of pushing the line. I want something that is difficult to play. I don't want easy mode, follow the glowing sparkles. I want a dungeon that you have to explore with a party that you pick and customize to your own liking. The best way to look at this is as if you are playing Dungeons and Dragons in a video game without all of the bull crap that Dungeons and Dragons is pulling into it. It is I don't use a D20 system. My system is going to be based off of 100. It is going to be stat 100. And so there's a lot of room for growth, because I am planning a lot of expansions to this. But you're not going to have to buy them. When you buy this core game, what you're going to get is you're going to get the tutorial, which is going to be pretty extensive without being walk over here and do this, walk over here and do this, right? It is going to be more of an intuitive, learn how to play this game in a somewhat safe environment before I throw you to the wolves. Because when we get into the hard part, like, there's going to be hard, there's going to be really hard, and there's going to be, oh my God, you're trying to kill me. That's the 3 levels that I'm shooting for. And so that is what we're going for, right? The game that I want to play. These assets I have built myself because they're vital to the game. And I know ahead of time that I'm going to need certain things, so I can build them ahead of time. I have spent a significant amount of time making sure that I got the UVs right on all of these little pieces. I've got all kinds of little pieces, and all of these things, let me slow that down just a little bit so it's more of a cinematic view. But like, this can have a customized image on it, and that's one of the things that I need the money for. Like, if I was to get money, this is what it would be used for. The artwork that I can't do, I can build these assets. The assets that I need to implement the game that I want to play, I can build. It's not going to be AAA realistic. I understand that. I am fine with that. But like I've already rescoped how I'm going to do all of this all together, but I've been making things, and if you played Morrowind, you recognize what's going on here, because I really like to be able to make things, right? We're going to have a crafting section where you can make stuff to go into this dungeon with the party that you choose to make. It's going to be like creating your own party. It's going to be a single player to start with because that's easy to do. But it's built in with the Unreal and the way that I'm doing it. The assets that I was able to buy. It's built in that I can scope up to multiplayer so you can play this dungeon with your friends, which is the goal, right? We want something that you can play that is fun to play by yourself, that you can also play with your friends that you're familiar with, and has content, because honestly, there's a lot of content out there that's a little bit repetitive. There's not a whole lot you can do with quests, right? There's the basic quest. Go kill this thing, go retrieve this thing, go bring this person this thing. That's about as far as you can go with that, but we can try and make it a little bit better. I'm going to try and go back to Doom 64, like the original Doom, where you just you could find doors hidden in the wall, or Wolfenstein, or what the old school exploration games, because that's fun. That's what I want to do. Now, it's going to be hard for me because I will know where everything is, so it's going to be a little less fun for me. But if I build a game that is overall what I want and fun for me with this first module, the next module, the plan is to get it procedurally generated, right? You're going to get the tutorial plus one module with the game. But I'm planning 12 modules. There are 12 points to this storyline that take place in separate locations. 12 dungeons that are long. I'm looking at content. Like, I want you to explore a dungeon. And from the second module on, I want it to be procedurally generated. So that, because I can't do that right now by myself, I don't have the funds. So from the second module forward, I want it to be where when you spawn in the land, the dungeon gets generated procedurally, so you don't know what's in there. You don't know what you're finding. It's just there to find. That can be done in Unreal that quick. It's really simple if you know what you're doing. I don't really have the time to find out what I'm doing with that yet. What I'm implementing is what I can implement, and I can implement this. All of these pieces are interchangeable and snappable and lockable, and these are assets that I built for me, and I will have them forever. This is my little army of humanoids over here that I customized so that we will have our 14 player races now. This is only 4 of them. I still have 10 more player races to build. I still have assets to build here. That's what I'm doing most of my day, while I am also taking care of my dad and running him to the store and to the doctor's appointments and things because he can't drive. A little bit of my story, because you may not know who I am, and let's go ahead and knock that out right now too. I'm a disabled person. I was in a car wreck 10 years ago now, I guess, 12 years ago now, something like that, 2011, whatever, however long that was, 12 years. I've got 13 discs that are messed up. I've got extensive nerve damage. I have shakes and twitches, and I can't physically do the things that I did my entire life in construction. And so I am on Social Security disability, but I very desperately want to get my way off of it. And this is my grind to do that. I was blessed. Before I was disabled, I got fully vested in the retirement plan at the plant that I worked in. And so after the appropriate amount of years, they just sent me a letter and said, hey, you know what? Here's the retirement money that you had. Can you use it? And I'm like, yeah, I can use that. And so what I did was take my retirement money and I paid off debt, right? As much debt as we could possibly feasibly do, and still be able to invest in me. And that's what I did next, is I invested in me. I bought assets here. These Unreal assets, like all of these map assets are mine. I made these in Blender myself. I imported them. The materials are mine. I built them. This is all my stuff, but the stuff behind the scenes, the coding and stuff, I'm not good at that. I did it for Unreal Engine 4 in the first iteration of what I wanted the game to be, which was way too big for one guy to do. This is scoped way down from the big vision. We're going to get to that in a minute too. I lost my whole train of thought. This is scoped down from what I had wanted to do. But this is something that I can do on my own because I invested in somebody else to do the coding for me. The implementing of the tag system, the gameplay tag system, which really sets Unreal apart from all the other free engines. Somebody else did that for me. I paid Ascent Combat Framework money, and it is money well invested. It is money that I paid from my retirement so that I can invest in my retirement and get off of disability. That is my number one priority, to be able to pay for myself. That is what I want to do. This game is coming out regardless of whether or not anybody ever invests in it. Ever. This game is still coming out. It will just take longer. That's it. If I don't have the money to pay for music, and I have had a couple of people already come forward for music, thank you for that. But even if that wouldn't happen, right, and I wasn't able to get the money paid to pay for that, or the artwork or whatever, that just means I have to learn it. That just means it's going to take longer because I have to learn how to put together a score that will work for the game. That is just time invested. I can do time. I have time. But if I can get away from that, then I will get away from that. If I can pay somebody else who especially believes in the things that I do, right, that shares the same audience that I do, then I absolutely will do that if I am able to. I am not financially able to invest in things. I am fully disabled. Like, I have trouble walking sometimes, but I walk every morning, right? We talked extensively about that. I won't get into that, but I don't have free cash floating around. Every penny that I put into this is money that I really could be putting somewhere else, and it would probably be a better investment, because if this doesn't pay off, then I'm just out of the money. If this doesn't come out, then I'm out of the money. But I'm not so heavily invested that I'm going to go bankrupt behind it. I didn't take out any loans. And here's another thing that needs to be, I saw the temple thing, and I jumped on it because I had prayed that very morning that I will take the opportunities that are presented to me. That is part of my prayer. I walk and I say that I am willingly accepting my greater purpose in life, that I am willingly accepting the responsibility that comes along with that, and that I will willingly take the opportunities that are presented to me, that I am pulling into my life the people and resources necessary to complete what I am sent here to do. That is part of my prayer every single morning. So when I saw that, I had no choice but to jump in. I wasn't set up right. My lighting wasn't right. I got comments about that, but that's cool. That constructive criticism is always welcome. But I wasn't going looking for funds. I'm not. If the funds become available, hush, meathead. Sorry, that's my dog. But if the funds become available, I can absolutely put them to use. If they're not available, I don't have to use them. It will just take longer to get my game out. The game is coming out regardless. All right, so on to the next question. Is the game political? Not in the slightest. Absolutely none. But it is significant in that it doesn't have any. There is no agenda being pushed. It is merely hey, there's a dungeon over here. It is based very loosely off of myths and legends and history. It is set prior to the flood of Noah, before Atlantis fell. There is no agenda being pushed whatsoever. I am using the Anunnaki as a base. I am using old world gods as a base. We have 14 player races, and only one of them is human, and only one of them is based off of humans. Right? So that is it. It is what Dungeons and Dragons should be. Go in, have fun with your friends, and kill some stuff. You want to use an axe? Here, skill up in axes. You want to blow stuff up with fire? Here, skill up in fire. There are no classes. It is 100% where you invest your points, like Fallout should be, right? Fallout 3 was great for that. Really great. The way that they did their talent system. I love the way that they did their equipment repair system. I love the way that they did a lot of things. The only thing they had was not enough content. Unreal has broken the content rule. There is no limit in Unreal Engine 5 to what you can put in a game. Almost none. Like, the only limit is how much you can physically store on the asset. Oh, so no, the game is not political in any way, shape, or form. I personally am a very liberal conservative. I believe that you can have sex with whoever you want to have sex with. Your genitals are not my concern. I believe that you can identify however you want, but I don't have to call you what you want me to. I believe that you are free to do you in any manner that you want to, as long as you are not infringing on anyone else. So if you want to do whatever thing to yourself, whatever thing, that's on you, boo. But we should not be responsible if those things don't go right. If you choose to do stupid things and stupid things don't go right, other people should not be responsible for that. You are responsible for your own life. And I've gone into this particular thing extensively. Like, I've got 800 videos now, I think. I talk about these issues. I don't hold back. I'm not censored. If you have a question, I will let you know. I have put everything out there. Oh, so next up, what will 10K do really? You would be surprised. You would really, really be surprised. And I'm not going to take you into the Epic store, but I have a lot of free assets from Unity that I'm using in the background. There are a lot of things, or I said Unity, Unreal, that I am using in the background. There are a lot of plugins and programs and things that they have available free that you can use. It's one of the reasons why it's Unreal over Unity. Because Unreal really is much more user-friendly. Much. For me, personally, it is so much easier to use. It is very intuitive once you get used to perspectives and how to move. It's much better. Plus, the new generation of processing that they are using for Unreal is the scope is unbelievably large, and nobody is tapping into it yet. If I had a team of 100 people, I could build the game I want in this, and it could be done. Like, think Skyrim to the scope of Eve, where everything in every galaxy has as much stuff as Skyrim, with the multi-level and simultaneously the ability to swap between two different realities, right? So an overworld and an underworld. It is absolutely amazing what you can do in this game now that fast. It cannot be overstated how much you can do in here. And the assets are mostly free. The things that I would use the money for, the $10,000, is to pay somebody. You know how in Skyrim and Oblivion, when you go up to a book, like, let's look here. Like, if you walk up and you see the closed book and you click on it, and I don't have this functionality built in, then it opens up and you can read on the pages the lore of the land. That's what I need money for, is to pay somebody to do calligraphy, to write out those pages, to help flesh out those pages to a large degree, because there's a lot of lore for 14 races that I'm trying to base almost not on anybody else's stuff, right? Most of the stuff, like, there's some stuff you can't change, and then there's some stuff you can change. And so I want to build lore for this, because this is going places. This is not a one-off. I am building what I want to play, and eventually I'll be able to play it. So $10,000 would pay an awful lot of artists to put that artwork where I can stick it, where when you open this particular book, it has this particular page. And I need a lot of those. That's what that money would be for. For sound, for somebody who actually understands how to make all the octaves work together and make a good sound. Like, I understand conceptually how that works. I'm just not good at it. I haven't put in the time. I have not invested the capital. So I need the capital to invest in someone who has. That is what I would use the money for, right? It's not trying to put out a AAA game on $10,000. That's dumb. That would never happen. I have been working on this, and here's the other thing, right? There was another game that I was going to build, but it was too big. So I got discouraged and I didn't. This one is scoped down to something that I can do. So I've only been working on this one maybe 2 months, I think. All of these assets that you're seeing, all of this has been built in the last 2 months by me, by myself, while I do full-time housekeeping. And this isn't like some humble brag type of shit. I'm just telling you. Like, I do maintain my house. I do feed my kids. I do run people around, and I do other things too. So this is like a side hustle that I am doing that I don't really have to do, right? I don't have to. This is my ambition to do. All right. So that's what $10,000 will do, really. It will just help me to flesh out the world faster. I can do the calligraphy. I can. I don't want to. That is so tedious because I'm left-handed and my left hand is the one that shakes. You want to talk about hard to do calligraphy. So I'm okay with that. Like, pay somebody else to do that. Now, the tempo part. I don't agree with people all the time. Tempo, I regularly disagree with Tim because Tim is a little farther left than I am, although that is definitely changing, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. But I still watch Tim, right? I don't really like Ian because I think Ian sometimes is obtuse, like intentionally obtuse, like intentionally just poking the bear, and maybe that's his part to play, and that's cool, but that part really irks me because I like facts. I do. But Temple really, well, he didn't address this situation. Look, I don't care about Brittany, whoever. I really don't. I don't. People making fun of me because of the beard and Jack Murphy. I find that funny. Like, I really do. That was hilarious. I think I pinned one of them. And so, like, you're not going to bother me with bringing up any part of my past. I'm not worried about any of that. And, like, Tim does a show where he talks to people. Some of them are controversial. That is a given. It's why I watch the show. Because I like to see different viewpoints. I like to see Brandon Straka on there. Like, I've been following Brandon since he started Walk Away. I like seeing Jack Prosovic on there. I like seeing Destiny on there. Or, like, I like seeing these other viewpoints that, like, I don't agree with socialism at all in any manner. As somebody on Social Security, the security nets that we have in place are vital and necessary and mismanaged terribly, right? Our main problem is a responsibility problem. All right, don't want to get off track. Tim's a good guy. Tim is trying to change the culture. I don't agree with him all the time. If I don't agree with somebody, I am not going to be like, I do, right? It doesn't matter who you are. If Tim doesn't give me the 10K, that's cool. I've got new crew members from this show. Like, that is my goal, and that's going to bring us into the last part. The end goal of this channel. I have talked about this before, and if you're with the crew and you have been with the crew, then you know where this is going. This is a stepping stone in my life, right? I have been through an awful lot of things, and now I'm getting into a beautiful lot of things. And we're going to go towards the beautiful part as fast as I can, and part of that is sharing what happens. Right? So we get to talk about things, and what I get to do here is I get to talk to y'all about things that actually make a difference. I get to talk to y'all about depression and anxiety. I get to talk to y'all about addiction. I get to talk to y'all about things that actually matter in the world. And that is all that I care about here. Financially, I could be better off. That's cool. I am monetized on YouTube. I have made, outside of the AdSense $100 that they give you, I think $5 in 2 years, right? I'm not doing this because I'm getting paid a lot. I'm doing this because yesterday I got a comment that somebody told me that I helped them decide not to die. That's why I do this, right? And so this is a stepping stone to larger that. What I get to do here is found the foundation of the school that I'm going to build. What I get to do here is take this piece and expand it into a bigger piece and get enough to launch a AAA game, because the next game on the backside of these 12 modules is the follow-up to this, is the game that I actually want to build now that I don't have the money for. But if I have enough money and the foundation's built, then I can move forward, right? And then I take that money and I invest that into a business where I can actually hire the people that I talked about hiring so many times. Because what we need to do is help people get better in their lives. And the goal of this channel, right, we've talked before that the goal of this channel, end goal, is to build the school. And you're like, okay, I just found you, Pitt. What's the school? But what I want to do, my personal goal in life, outside of leaving a legacy for my children, right, and making sure that they're taken care of, my personal goal in life is not to build a video game. I've already published a book. It's not great. You don't need to go look it up. It's really not great. But my goal is to build a school. And what I want this school to do is to go to the prisons and to the homeless and say, hey, look, are you actually looking for a hand up? Because if you are actually looking for a hand up, then I got you. And so I'm going to go and I'm going to teach them life. And when I say this, I by no means mean me alone, right? There's no way I can do this by myself. And so I have to build a foundation where I can actually be recognized for an idea. And my idea is that everybody deserves a chance, right? If you want it, let's get it for you. And I want everybody to succeed because I live in a limitless universe. And there are enough resources for everyone. My God created all of you, every single one of you. And so it is my goal to help as many of you as I can. So if I can go to these prisons and to these homeless people and be like, look, you need a hand up? I have a live-on facility that I have set up to help you get clean and sober. If that's what you're wanting to do. And if it's not, then you can't come. Like if you don't want to be clean and sober, then this isn't the place for you. But if you do, come check it out. And so you come and we teach you how to do a job, but also, how to file your taxes and how to apply for a mortgage and how to get a business license and what your actual goal in life is. While you're working in these stepping stones that I'm building, because I can't control who you hire, but I can control who I hire. And while this one, I am perfectly open to, this is built on the Timcast. Like if Tim gives me money and we want to give the money to Timcast audience, that's cool. That's the stepping stone there. But the next stepping stone, that's for the people that need the help, right? Like outside of my community, outside of the people that I agree with politically, outside of the people that look like me. I want to go to other people and say, hey, bruh, I got you. That's my goal. That is what we do here. That is why I am already a successful YouTuber. Because I have had people tell me I changed their lives. Like I have had people tell me that I stopped them from ending themselves. That is beautiful. That is the most beautiful thing in the world. I cannot describe to you how wonderful that is, right? I've had people tell me that I help them find the motivation to move on, like on to the next stage of their life, or to look at their hardship in a different manner. That is goals. That is what I do. Yes, it was sucked. I have spent the last 9, 10 months, 11 months, a year, shadow banned, right? Because I covered real issues. And so I got strikes and I got shadow banned and all of those things. But it sucks, but it is what it is. God has timing and I'm willing to wait on it. Now things are changing, things are moving. And so let's talk about things. I think we're going into a wonderful part of the life. I think because in my timeline, the one that I am in charge of, in my timeline, we all win. Everybody who wants to win can win. And not everybody wants to win. And if they don't want to win, then they're fine over there. But if you want to win, if you want to help, then this is the place to do it. I can help. Like I have hours upon hours of trying to help people figure out their own mental status. I have hours upon hours of talking about mental issues and how to motivate yourself and how to love yourself. And I do have some very out there beliefs. I fully admit that, and I'm okay with it. But anyway, we're going to wrap this up. Thanks for hanging out, right? Hopefully I brought a little bit of closure to some of the questions. If you have more questions, hit me up. I will let you know anything you want to know. I am very, very transparent. Sorry the lighting's a little bit off. I am moving things around, adjusting things, and I am not a technical genius. I'm building a game. I barely understand how half of it works, but I do it. And I got it working, so it is what it is. Hopefully I brought a little bit of closure to some of the questions, though. Like, some of them, I'm not going to address some things. Some people are a little bit rude in the way that they address some things. I try to respond to as many comments as possible because I value the conversation that we have. I know I haven't been as diligent about that as I probably could have been for a few months, and I apologize for that, but I've been in a weird place. There's been a lot of changes going on. If you've been here, you know that I am not nearly the person I was when I started this channel. I have grown and changed immensely, and I fully expect to continue to do so. But that's because of you and the conversations that we have. I'm going to try and get a little bit of work done before NF drops this track in a little bit, because that's the reaction for today. And I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. To the crew, thanks for hanging out. I appreciate every single minute that you are here with me, and I am praying for you every single day. Until next time, I love you. You are perfect, whole, and complete just the way that you are. And this has been pittstake. Peace.